Hello everyone. Well, I just got done with a group ride that was to support Ride for 22, and what that is a organization that raises money to help veterans, with their mental health issues. And the way they got their name was an average of 22 vets a day commit suicide. So what they do is they support the veteran centers here in Idaho with money donations and that to help these vets get the help that they need. And it was neat. I kind of ended up being the impromptu ride leader. We were all just kind of supposed to take off on our own and do our own thing and get there. And when I was heading out, about 20 guys followed me. So I looked in the mirror and there was 20 bikes behind me. The only problem was I didn't quite know where I was going. So Pocatello's about 60 miles away from where we started, and so we headed down that way, and I pulled over at an area where we could get all the bikes in and then discuss on where we were actually going. It was cool. Everybody was mellow. It was a good time. But the ride was sponsored by the local Indian dealer, Eagle Rock Indian, and these people are great, man. I'll tell you, they really go out of their way to support this kind of stuff. And the shop is unbelievably neat. The place is like a museum, but they really take care of the locals and a lot of causes like this. They have a couple of these fundraisers a year, along with a rally that they sponsor for Indian. I'll throw a couple of pics up from the ride here so you can see it in the gathering of the people. There's quite a few people on the ride. I'm not sure how many bikes were there at 11 o'clock this morning when it was kickstands up, but I would guess probably close to 40, 45 of them. And we were gone on the ride probably, I'm not sure how long it was, time we stopped and talked and then got down to the Veteran Center and listened to the guy down there. He was a Iraqi war veteran in the Marine Corps, and when he got out of the service, he went and got his degree in psychology, I believe he said, and then came back and was helping the folks that were having trouble after their military service. So he really stepped up and went to help his fellow soldiers. Really neat guy, had a lot of cool stories. It was really interesting to talk to him. And we ended up getting back at about 2:45, I believe. And then they raffled off a Indian Scout that they'd been selling raffle tickets for, for the last couple of months to support this group. And they raffled that off, and there was a happy guy that won that. And along on my ride there, I had a tire pressure sensor kind of give me a little bit of problem. The light would flash on and off, and it would lose the tire pressure setting, and then come back, and then it would go away again. So went in there and talked to the service guy at the local Indian dealer. He goes, "Oh man, here, let's just get that thing back there right now." So he jumped right on it. They stuck it back there in the back, and within a half an hour he came back out. He goes, "We really couldn't find nothing wrong, but we reset everything on the computer, and well, as of right now it hasn't came back on." So I'm thinking he found it. But these guys at this Indian dealership, they're like no other motorcycle dealership I've ever been to in my life. These guys really cater to the customers, and just a really great group, really nice group of people. So if you guys are ever in the Idaho Falls area, I would recommend you guys stop in at the Eagle Rock Indian dealer, if nothing else, just to check out their shop. I think they probably have one of the nicest Indian motorcycle shops there are in the country. These folks really went all out. As I close out the ride today, I would just ask you to think about the people that served. One of the things the guy said down there at the Veterans Center down there, the counselor, he said, you know, a veteran was here to help us and help our country stay the way it is, and remain a great place to live. And he goes, you know, all the veterans out there would just like to see everybody out there enjoying life. He says, you know, the ones that have passed and the ones that are still around. So, you know, let's take his advice. Let's go out and enjoy life, because these guys have sacrificed a lot to make sure we could. So let's not let that sacrifice go to waste. And I would also like to ask you to support your local groups, whether it be a veterans group or a children's group, or just whatever kind of group, you know, touches your heart, to throw your support behind. You know, there's a lot of people out there that could use support from people. So I ask you just to put that support out there. I do thank you for coming along, and just ask you to ride safe and take care. Thanks.